My name is Francisco Cortez, and today I'm be talking about the service learning that I did for CM7S with regards to what I think about it and what I think can improve on it overall. So first off, the two organizations that I worked with was Dakota Eco Garden and Habitat for Humanities. Out of those two, I'd say the easier one was Habitat for Humanities, just because of the type of work that I did compared to the type of work that I did for Dakota Eco Garden. I mean, both those organizations, they're nonprofit organizations that they mostly rely on the help of the community and of any other like type of sponsors or something like that help out with all the funds and all the materials that they need to help improve the lives of the people in need or that people that really need help. Just like, for example, like homeless people. For the Dakota Eco Garden, they basically they focus on helping homeless people. They help out by offering them a place to stay for up to a year. But in order to be able to stay there, they have to have like a plan of what they'll do once that year ends up. And in order to keep them on track, they usually have meetings with them. I think they said about every 2 to 3 months, which to make sure they're on track to see their progress that they've done with their that they've done, whether it be if they found a job or if they're continuing, if they're saving up money to be able to afford an apartment or something like that. Out of the jobs that I did for both Dakota Eco Garden and Habitat for Humanities, I'd say the harder one was Dakota Eco Garden. The reason for that was because the type of work that I did that particular day that I went, it was basically leveling out the workshop. I think it was their workshop floor. I basically had to level it out so they can put down the foundation and have it all leveled. And the type of work I did was basically shoveling off dirt and like putting it where it was needed. And what was worse is that I was the only one out of my two other teammates that went, so my workload was even more was yeah it was even more than usual. But luckily there was someone else that actually helped me out with this, so actually my workload kind of got lowered because of that. And another job that I did for them was actually paint one of their, I think it was called the Eco Pod that they have. They barely finished constructing it, I believe. And I was busy. I was helping out with that, with the painting. But with regards to the Habitat for Humanities, the type of work that I did for them, it was it was in placing the curtain walls. I believe that's what they're called. The onto the houses. Basically, Dakota Habitat for Humanities is also a nonprofit organization, like I said earlier, that helps with people that are looking for a house, but they can't afford it. So they basically help. They construct the home from the bottom up. I guess that's how you can say it. But the only condition for them to be able to participate, I think it's participate or qualify, would be them having to help out actually with the construction of their home, which is basically about they have to participate about 500 hours in helping. And I'm not too sure if they have to help others or not build their homes, but I know for sure it's the 500 hours that they have to do. But overall, the service learning that I did with both Eco Garden and the Habitat for Humanities was actually quite beneficial, but at the same time, it wasn't really beneficial because or basically back up because of my background, I know how like type of work that is related to construction, like what type of work they do on a daily day basis. So I don't think it was really beneficial for me, but I say it's probably beneficial for others that don't have this type of experience. So I guess overall, it was it was all right. I wouldn't really recommend it for most people, but if you actually need it for, they assign it for a grade, then of course you have to do it. But overall, it was a fun experience.